Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Page Break Podcast with Rich and Brian. We're going to discuss just real quickly today audiobooks and why you should have one. Brian, I know you've been doing some research on some numbers for audiobooks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Obviously audiobooks are, for just the way that we are today with everybody just moving so fast, fast-paced lives, it is so much easier and more efficient to, you know, get knowledge on the go, whether it's reading a book that you just, you enjoy for entertainment or whether it's just, you're getting information on a certain topic. Doesn't really matter what the topic is. More than likely there needs to be an audiobook for it. So, it has grown substantially over the past few years. Over the last year, from 24 to 2025, it was up 13% year over year. Um, roughly over $2 billion in 2024 in audiobook sales, and then that went up to roughly 4.2 billion in 2025, and they're expecting by the end of 26 nearing 12 billion in revenue and as high as 35 billion by uh, by the year 2030. So this is obviously a space where uh, if you're an author, you need to be in this particular window of offering your book on audio, because if not, you're going to be missing out on a very large percentage, of the overall market.
Yeah, I know that audiobooks are growing faster than ebooks, which you remember when we started back in this industry, we thought ebooks were going to be it. Like it would eventually just be ebooks. That's kind of how we thought the market was going in 2010. And then ebooks slowed down pretty considerably. And the rise of podcasting um, has kind of got people more into the audiobook vein. And you don't have to have a CD or a tape anymore. You can just do a digital download. And so, yeah, audiobooks are growing faster than ebooks and much faster than print books. So I think, yeah, your numbers are they tell a real clear picture. And I know we've got a couple of audiobook options. I'm going to kind of explain the options to authors, and then I think you're going to explain some of the finances about it. So, but I'll give you the options. So you can have a voice actor do an audiobook for you. We can certainly do that. We have a couple of authors that have hired their own. It's worked really well. If you want us to hire a voice actor for you, that's clearly gonna be the most expensive way to do this. We also have an AI platform that we can use, and they sound great. There's nothing wrong with, a year ago, even doing an audiobook, AI was not an option, but it is now. It sounds like a human voice. It's very good, but there are some people who don't like the fact that it's AI. It kinda lacks a little bit of emotion and whatnot. And then we have a really great program where we can allow the author to read their own book to our platform. We've got a nice computer system set up here where they can log in remotely and read. And then our editor can go in and normalize volume, take out background noise, fix any mistakes. And any of our authors who are currently doing this know that we can fix a lot of mistakes. We've created some awesome blooper reels from them reading their book. It is the least expensive way to do it, and it is by far, I think, the most rewarding. Your friends and family get to hear the book in your voice, but also the customer, the consumer, gets to hear the book read with the passion that you have when you wrote it. So, although we can do all three options, and we'd love to discuss any one of the three with you, you reading the book in your own voice is by far the most exciting for the author. They're the most happy with the finished product, and it's the most cost effective.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, like Rich was saying, back a few years ago, everybody expected. I remember one of our first audiobook productions. I remember the author thinking that she was literally talking about flying into Oklahoma, where we are, and like thinking that she has to come to the studio, and that that was the case, back in the day. But now, I mean, literally, one other really cool thing is that I've had some authors before talk about, well, I can't imagine, reading 320 pages without stopping, something like that. That's not how the program works. You literally The only thing you're asked if you read it yourself is to read one chapter at a time. That's literally all you do. And then we give you step-by-step instructions on how to save it, how to, title it, and then it's in our program, and then we have our team go in and do all the file naming and the creative stuff with the editing, the transition music, the upload, with the graphics and things like that. Someone they see your book cover on somewhere like Audible. And yeah, you're opening up yourself to so many more potential sales. Not everybody likes to flip pages. Now, a lot of people do, and that's just the way that it's going to be for that particular reader. But as we see with these numbers, more and more, the audiobook space just continues to grow. So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about that, um, like Rich said, the most cost effective way is reading it yourself. Typical size book, you're looking at roughly $899 to do that, and then our team handles everything else. Like I said, the retail distribution, the editing, which by far is the most important part. We had an author one time worry about their computer fan kept coming on because their computer was overheating, and they thought that that was going to, ruin their recording. So they end up they just kept stopping and waiting for the fan to shut off and start again. Um, Little things like that. That's all handled in editing. So if you're worried about having a quiet space, that's not a problem. The AI version is a bit more expensive. It's $1,299 to do something like that. If you have to do that, obviously, we want you to have an audiobook. So if that's what you need to do, then by all means, we will certainly help you do that. We recommend the live author reading it, or sometimes an author has a friend or family member who has a very good radio voice or recording voice, and maybe you want someone like that, someone that you're close to, someone that knows your story. Maybe you want them to read the book, and that's certainly an option as well. Hiring a professional narrator, that's on a case by case basis. We don't do a whole lot of that, but if that is something that you'd like to look into, we can get you pricing on that just based on not only your book subject matter, but also the amount of pages in the book will dictate how much that'll be. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys and love to work with as many of you guys as we can. It's definitely a profitable space in the industry right now that every author should take advantage of. So appreciate everyone listening. And this has been Rich and Brian with Page Break, and we hope to hear from you soon.
We're out.